Greetings, everyone. Tommy Hawksblood here. So I got some bad news. Well, I guess you all expected it, or you should have, even though I was hoping for a little bit of something important to come out of it. All right, this is going to be a long show. It's going to be short, just down to the point. Today, 25th, all right, it's June. Oh, man, bug just went in my ear. Today, the U.S. official release of the UFO files is called. Well, basically, it's from the Directory of National Intelligence releases the UFO files. All right. There's two kind of files they released. And guess what? We get one of them. And the other one goes to Congress. The one we get is called unclassified UFO information. What Congress gets is called classified UFO information, which I'm going to get into a little bit. Like I said, I don't want to do too much today. I just want to tell you what's happening and what's not happening. All right. The actual proof of UFOs is not going to be given to public. The actual proof of a lot of things is not going to be released to the public. I thought they had to show us something. They don't. And what I'm going to tell you is what they said and released online today. So, their idea, okay, means let's show them or tell them something. So what are they going to tell us? Well, here's what they're going to say. That it could be Russian ships. It could be Chinese ships. It could even be German ships. And if that's not bad enough, they said it could be an unknown organization that sent them up or use them, whatever. Unknown organization. What's that mean? The Illuminati, New World Order, or secret demon organization? What are we calling it now? That's pretty stupid, but what else is new? So what are they actually saying? All right, I was born 1952. That was the year of the great flood of UFOs over the White House. There was a bunch of them, and it happened twice in 1 week. All right. So what are they going to say? They were ships from China, Germany, or Russia? So in that, are they saying China could have wiped us out in 1952? That's what they're saying. All right. What if it was Russia? They could have wiped us out then too? Oh no, worse yet, a secret organization sending rockets and UFOs up. Where they get the money? Where they get the ships? Who are they working with? What group of people helped them build these kind of ships that could do that? All right. Well, you know, when the government puts a story out, they put a bunch of bull out any which way you look. I'm going to get into that a little bit after this part of it. And what happened? There was nothing we could do anything about. We couldn't stop it. We couldn't tell what it was. We didn't know what it was. And we let them fly around our White House. Does that sound like we had nothing going on then? Sure does to me. Now, that's the first thing they're going to say, which they did. A 9-page letter came out, and I just finished reading it. All baloney, bull. Not one thing important, real or true. The second thing, they're going to say all ex-Army people, all ex-Air Force people, all ex-astronauts, and Navy people, too, are crazy and delusional. Is that what they're going to say? All right. Now, we know a couple astronauts came out and said aliens are real and things like that. One of them died. Now, let's go backwards. When Kennedy was going to try to release the UFO files, who was his buddy? Marilyn Monroe. If you know this or not, she had the actual documents in her apartment where she was found dead, committed suicide. Really? Of UFO files she was going to tell the world about that Kennedy told her. All right. They'd rather keep her a sex symbol and had to commit suicide. Really? And Kennedy was hanging around with her? Well, he was, but why? And why would you do something like that? Well, how about calling all the abducted people crazy? I do a show at 1. You need to listen if you care, want to know the truth about it or anything. All right. This whole thing about UFO people in the conferences and UFO worlds and speakers, very few of them have their own personal experience. I mean, being near a ship, being next to an alien, being next to a Bigfoot, being next to any of it. Their own actual pictures of ships and videos. All right. People, you care? Anybody out there with money that cares about UFOs and proving it? John Ford, F-O-R-D, is in the nut house on Long Island. They're saying he's crazy, too crazy to go to trial, because if he goes to trial, he will show the video he shot the most important video of a UFO crashed on planet Earth in Long Island. I went out to where the crash was. You could see where the ship came down and chomped through the trees and everything. They tried burning it. They tried burning all the evidence for 3 weeks. They closed up a square area. And just so you know, if a UFO is really landing on planet Earth, the police okay, wait, no, let me get this straight. The police have to, and so does the fire department. They both have to stand back. They have to close the area off, and they cannot go into it. I wonder why. Because FEMA comes out, and they go inside, and they do whatever they have to do to cover it up. All right. For 3 weeks, that went on in Long Island, and black trailers were going in and out of a fire. Why would that be normal? It wasn't, and it isn't. Just so you know, when we talk about directed energy weapons and all those kind of things, the 800, a plane, I think it was 230, I don't know the exact number, 234 people were on it, was shot down. Oh, the video showed it being shut down, okay, on TV, live, and they said, oh, the computer broke down and they couldn't release that again, and it was not real. A beam of light coming across, you see this beam of light come up and hit it. Oh, that was a default in the radar system? Really? Oh, guess what? Thousands of people saw the beam hit the ship. And they said, oh, one of the cabins blew up and blah, blah, blah. Really? Our government thinks we're complete idiots. Well, I think most of the people are. How come no one to this day cares about how 9/11 really went down? Nobody wants to talk about the truth about it. Why is that? Don't you think there's something wrong there? Yeah, there was a book put out. I just looked at it today. My friend has it. She goes on about how it was a weapon created by Tesla. Now, if you shoot a beam, shooting a beam means it's got to send a signal or a beam or a light or something in a direction. If they would have hit the Trade Center with something like that, multiple people would have saw it. All right, because they're still trying to say it was shot. If you don't think it was natural by the planes, it was a directed energy weapon and blah, blah, blah. We can see a directed energy weapon today. They shot it in California, and they're going to probably shoot a couple other states in the next couple of months. to create more fires. But now that building went down. Okay, a beam hit it. How did it hit the other building? Why did the third building go down? All right. Do you know half of the people that were supposed to be in those buildings were not in there? It was already condemned, that building, because it had tons of asbestos in the walls, and it would take a long time to get it all out and cost a lot of money. Second of all, they put 150 tons of sewage into the Hudson River daily. Who was contaminating the United States? Who was contaminating Jersey and New York? Duh. So when the 800 was shot down and people saw it, they blocked off the Hudson River for 2 weeks. They had to get every piece of that, including the so-called black box, which was never found. How's that? The Hudson River? It's not as deep as when you go out into the ocean, right where it is, because it's got the cove, which goes real deep out there and everything else. But they found pieces of the ship, but they never found the black box. Could never tell what really happened, except they knew there was a fire in the engine or somewhere on the plane, and it blew up. Now, ask anybody. I was out on Long Island. Ask any of the other people. There was thousands of them that saw the beam hit the ship. That's just to throw in with this garbage of who's doing what and what's really happening. All right. Now, a friend of mine who's no longer my friend, he came into money and he blacklisted me for some reason, blaming me for a lot of things. But Sergeant 18 and I, we lectured from 1996 to 2002. We lectured for global sciences, people. They had people from all over the world at every conference in different parts of the United States every year. All right. At that time, we were showing UFOs that we shot. Entities, creatures. Sargel shot a lot more than I did. But he, when we lectured, we put them, we showed them. People didn't care. People didn't want to know about entities and things like that, which I'll get into when this part's over. So now what? We traveled all the different states and lectured. Every year, one person was killed coming to the conference. I guess whoever they felt was the most scariest person to speak, they would kill him. Well, the one year we went, somebody was arrested in New York. They said he had the virus, not a virus, but a very toxic chemical. He had the antidote for it. But they didn't want the antidote out because then the toxin would be useless. So they arrested him. He got out, but he wasn't able to come to the conference. But most of the times, people that were coming to the conference were found dead before they got there. When we lectured, the night before we went, we got a letter from NASA. Sargel has the actual link that was sent to him. I got a copy of it, saying, "Stop and desist. You have no right to interfere with what's going to happen to the world. Sit back and watch. This is not a threat." What is it? Sit back and enjoy. Sit back and enjoy and watch the planet get messed up. That sounds like a good thing, right? This person that sent it to us was at a NASA. He gave his name and everything. It was all on there. And he was killed 6 months later. He was involved with the capsule that went up into space, putting things inside it. So he was part of the government, doing work and everything. But he was telling us to be careful. He had multiple degrees and everything else. He wasn't a stupid person. But that's just part of this story of cover-up. Now, I say this over and over. I have 8 friends that were killed and went missing. 2 of them were put in jail. 1 of them was put in a nut house. John Ford is in the nut house. Get him out. Watch his video. It will change reality because his video is crystal clear of a ship on Long Island. I saw it. Get him out, people. He's been in there since 1996. And the UFO people, these so-called big speakers that are on TV making tons of money, telling you bullshit will not go near him. Why? Because he has truth, and people are afraid of the truth. UFO people that speak the truth get killed. Pull up Phil Snyder's story. And then they said he committed suicide. Wrapped himself up in barbed wire, put a thing of rubber tube around his throat and died. Really? When he was out lecturing, he had his hand blown off. He had his stomach blew apart and his foot blown out. He was involved with a group of people, a group of Green Berets that went down into an alien army base. They didn't know it. They were sent down in there, and guess what? They were all killed. He was the only one that got out alive, but he got hit by one of their beams. And he was telling a story for a short time. But the UFO people don't talk about him. He's too real. They talk about bullshit, love and light aliens. They've been here a long time, and they're helping us. What? All right, listen to these speakers, what they want to do, what they're saying. I just wrote a long letter to a woman that put out a movie called Among Us. She's putting out another one. She wants everybody's UFO pictures and videos. And I said, you're promoting aliens breeding with us is a good thing. It's a retarded, sick, pathetic thing to happen. Anybody that agrees with that is pretty mentally disturbed. Now, I'm not going to say what the government's doing because we know they are. They're all about war. They don't care about people, money, or anything. They can get any money they want. They can do whatever they want, especially MJ-12. They override the president, people. So Trump couldn't get near him and nobody else could. I was friends with one of them. And I'm not going to go into that whole story, but what he offered us was incredible. So MJ-12 was the most important thing that Eisenhower worked with, but Truman created. Not going to go into how many bodies they were allowed to take and all that kind of stuff. You don't want to hear the truth. You want to hear lies. Oh, they're going to come down and teach us what? How to become higher dimensional. Higher dimensional beings means what? Floating around in the astral plane? To do what? Oh, use my psychic abilities. People claiming to change DNA. Why? You think you're God? You're going to change somebody's DNA to make it better? Healing is only make-believe, temporary garbage. Karma is real. Every soul on this planet has its own karma. Nobody can take it away. Jesus didn't come here to take away your karma. When he said go out and sin no more, he didn't say come back next week and I'll forgive you. Where are you people? What are you thinking? What do you believe about your religion? Nothing important. I'm going to get into God short. I wasn't even going to, but I will near the end of this. I'm going to be doing a real workshop. Something that has never been done before. A real workshop on truth. I'm not going against the government. Not going against anything other than liars. When the government lies, UFO people lie, but what the lies are to the truth. I'm going to be putting the truth out in every detail. And it's a good thing if you want to believe that there's a real God. Otherwise, you're going to say it's all bull, as why I am saying this whole thing is bull, what the government did. All right, Sargel copyrighted all the pictures we shot. We shot pictures. We went out on government land, probably better than Area 51. He shot his first video of a ship coming down there. I can go into that whole story. It's the most important UFO story that no UFO person can talk about because they have no clue. We have, I'm not going to say certain names, people in New York, Long Island, claiming this story. They wrote a book on it, and they don't know the inner reason for the whole thing. Tesla was working with aliens. Where? In New Jersey. The lake was flooded, and ships went in and out of there for 9 months. Anybody talking about that? No. All right, let's skip that. All right. From 1996 to 2002, Sargel and I lectured in all these global science meetings, showing more and more pictures of ships. Some of the things he did, I did not agree with, blowing smoke in the air and filming pictures of entities within that, creatures and beings, Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, and all those kind of things. But I didn't want to go there. But we shot a picture of me on this vortex on government land of me looking back at myself. I mean, we split ties for many years. And he said that was the demon of me looking back at myself, which he took back years later when we started doing Kerry Cassidy's show for 9 months. All right, people, you want to listen to these idiots, pay them all kinds of money. I'm not asking you for money. Never do. I do my show every week, at least one show a week. We talk about the truth. We talk about aliens, abduction, and everything else that's going on. All right, her experience, my experience, and what's really going to happen. Do we know? We know a lot more than most of these UFO people do, because they were never on a ship. They were never in front of an alien. I was. I stopped my brother from getting abducted. Do you want to know things that are real and really happening, that are possible or impossible? I'm not going into the spiritual side of this, because that I'm a totally separate whole entity that I will be doing at a different date. I'm doing this because today is when they released the files of nothingness, telling us Russia could be up there, China could be up there, Germany could be up there, secret groups can be up there, over us, over the United States, meaning they can take us out whenever they want. Are they that ignorant to tell Russia that? Tell China that? All right, I'm going to get into something real important. Mr. Putin, do you know who he is? I hope so. He met with Trump. The day after he met with Trump, Trump comes out and said, I'm creating a space army. We already had a space army, but he says he's going to create one. Okay. We go, I want to be president when we go to Mars. Why would he say something stupid like that? He doesn't believe in aliens. Mr. Musk himself came out last week. We don't have aliens. Really? And he's going into space and he's doing all the things. He wants to surround the planet with satellites. He's a sick person and he's going to destroy the planet at one level. And we support him and wish good luck to him. And what he's doing, what he's going to do to us. Then when 5G came out, nobody's complaining. It was a weapon created by the army. Well, they got 6G ready, and that'll be out probably next year for the army. But again, what is it? Well, I bought a Geiger counter, and the person I do a show with has a Geiger counter, and we both take them out. I got problems with my screen putting out all these electromagnetic waves and energy. She gets affected by radiation. Seriously. Check it out. Tuesday morning in Hawaii, 12 California time. All right. Type Hawksblood 1. Pull up my show. It's on YouTube. It's always recorded. She's radioactive. On and off. Impossible. I spoke to scientists. Oh, it's impossible. My brother's a scientist. Oh, it's impossible. Tune into our show. She takes a little Geiger counter. What do I got right here or not? I think I do. All right, just to show you what a little Geiger counter looks like, in case you don't believe I had one. See a little Geiger counter? Put it on. See the number on top? See the flashing? Means that the energy that my computer screen is putting out is dangerous. But see the bottom screen? That's radioactive level. It's not going off. Okay. When she goes like this, it starts going off. Not all the time. Most of the time. On and off. Sometimes super high levels, super low levels. She's affected by all the signs of radiation. Seriously. She's losing her nails, losing her teeth, losing her hair. She's passing out, falling down. All these things are happening to her. She's still alive. Radioactive poisoning doesn't let you live too long. Silkwood, I think, was the movie. Watch it. Watch how somebody with radiation and the effects and how it affects a person, how fast. She's doing okay. I think, just a viewpoint, mine and hers, and I help her realize it, the aliens are keeping her alive. I'm not going to go into her story. Watch my show. Call in. Ask questions. Ask real questions. Get real answers. Not like, I think I'm an idiot. I think I'm a fool. I think I'm a great storyteller. Listen to me. I sell 20 books. I make millions of dollars a year. Doing what? Telling people stories. People love stories. The more crazy, the more abstract, the better it is. Like the word experiencers. People tell great stories when you're an experiencer, meaning they had a great, good experience with aliens. The aliens came in their room and they traveled and they did all these things and blah, blah, blah. Not one of them has one shred of evidence. And they tell great stories. I could tell people, I'm not going to go into everybody else's names. There's just too many out there that are liars, storytellers, delusional. Am I delusional? You can say whatever you want. I have witnesses here and there. When I was in the hospital having my tonsils out, my brother was having his out. There was another person in the room when the ship came up to the window. All right. I had an alien come in my house. I had my friend staying over for the first time. We chased it with a stick. We saw the ship take off as well. From then on, I see ships wherever I go. I got a light ship always following me wherever I go at nighttime. Doesn't blink at me all the time, at least once a night, sometimes 3 times, sometimes 120 times. I filmed it 120 times, but guess what? My camera was frozen. And I'm in Hawaii, so it wasn't frozen. So beyond that, let's go back to what's happening today. Congress is going to get this. How many pages? We don't know that. Maybe 20, 100,000. Who knows how many pages? They're going to give it to these old fogey people called congressmen to read. Oh, the UFO came down. This. Where was it? I didn't want to read this anyway. Is that what we're going to get from people in Congress about UFOs and the truth, if they get any truth at all? Now, the only thing Trump ever did that was important was put this bill out there, so they have to expose the files. Sadly, we should be able to see all files after 25 years. Like the 2 ships they have, the Aurora and Delphi, the wars that they had in space. I saw 2 ships get blown up here personally in Hawaii. I saw a ship come across, shoot out these ships alive, and I was screaming, they're here. I was going crazy, screaming, trying to get other people to look. It was nighttime, but I saw more ships than probably everybody else on the planet in general. I saw over 2,000 ships at least. I'm talking not Tic Tacs. Sure, I see a lot of them doing stupid things. I hit one with a laser, and it turned from white to green, the green beam from the laser. Then when I turned the light off, it turned back to white. Then I hit it again with the green beam, turned green again. Does the government care about things like that? I'm just making up stories. Of course, do I have it on video? No, I didn't have my camera ready. I didn't expect that to happen. 3 nights ago, I went out. I saw a ship coming along, grabbed my camera, pointed at it, it disappeared. I put this camera down. It was there again, and it turned into a big ball of light and just disappeared. Every day, I have 5, 6 people around me in the neighborhood watching. And every night they tell me, did you see that ship last night? Did you see it doing these zigzags? It came back and did it all over again. And I hear all this every day. I have 6 people that come on, and they don't like to go on TV, but they would come on. I can get them to say it maybe, but people don't care. People don't want the truth. They want to hear good aliens are coming. The good aliens are coming, and they're going to save us. Save us from what? Our ego? Our delusional ideas of what we want? I'm going to be doing the most incredible workshop in the near future, hopefully in a month or 2. It's going to entail everything you need to know about life and death. I'm not going to get into aliens or the government, any of that stuff, about love, about family, about birth, reincarnation, those words, which are important. Because right now, the government, countries are interfering with every possible thing they can. Destroying the United States, interfering with bringing creatures and entities in with CERN, C-E-R-N. When the Philadelphia experiment happened, it became the Montauk Project. They opened up a vortex, which the government can't close. You know how many movies were made on that alone? The Philadelphia experiment was a movie made on the Philadelphia experiment. But when it became the Montauk Project, when they opened up the vortex and the Montauk chair and all those things, what was really going on? What were they really doing? Who were they working with? Evie, remember that name? The United States government had to kill him. I don't want to go into the story of what they did with the Greys, because the Greys were eating people. People. Oh, well, that's just a story. Well, what is it? Why is every other UFO person saying not a story? They got zero proof. Look at Phil Snyder's body. What it looked like. What happened to him. Nobody burns half of their hand off, that blows their foot out, tears their stomach right open. With what kind of tools? You know, proof is in the actual proof that the people bring out. All right. I go into things that are more provable when you go inside yourself. Because truth is inside you, it's not outside of you. Spiritual truth is only inside you. You're not going to get it anywhere else. For me, I'll give you the technique and the ways and things you need to think about to get into it, but I can't give it to you. The same as something incredibly important is when you die and you go into the astral plane, try to get beyond the astral plane. There's something what people don't want to know, little gods called deities. And Lucifer, well, he's bad. No, Satan's bad. Satan's down here, not Lucifer. Oh, it's his son. Because he's bad and you think Lucifer's bad? He fell from grace, but so did all the other angels. People, you want to tell stories, you want to follow Bible stories, put them together, try to figure out where the lies are and where the truth is, if there's any. So what are we going to do about this government thing? Nothing. I told everybody the past 3 days, call the White House. Tell them to tell us something important. Just tell them to tell us that aliens are real. Just tell them to tell us UFOs are from other worlds. They can't even say that. And it's beyond all matters of proof because it's provable. When I first saw my first UFO and watched it go from here to out into the universe, really? You know, it was traveling at the speed of light when I was little. I was 6 years old. All right. To the time I was 12. And when I was 12, ship was gone. We had the technology. We had what, fake aliens walking around inside these ships too? You know, when they say Mr. Stephen Greer, Mr. Disclosure, the biggest con in the whole part of the UFO world, disclosure will only happen when one particular alien race says, let's say hello to the world. Not before. They take people out. They take tons and tons of people out. They remove people. They reprogram people to believe retarded, stupid stories. Where are you going, people? Do you care? I don't think so. I'd rather sit back. Everything's going to be okay. The good aliens are coming. They're going to come on the mothership and say, hey, here's some gold. Buy yourself some food. Get some nice clothes. Come on our ship. Why? Do you think any alien race needs us? Why? Why would they need us? The way I describe it, the most simplest way, do you go out into your yard, find an ant colony, and try to teach them to speak? Do you? Why not? They're not speaking, so let's teach them how to speak. Why? We step on them, we kill them, we spray them. We don't want them to do anything. But if we were eating them like cows and sheep and lambs and all those kind of things, we'd grow them and push them around and kill them and eat them. So what do you think aliens need us for? Other than food, other than blood, blood, other than semen and ovaries, they don't need us. All right, people? They don't need anything else from us. Sure, not our brain. Just so you know, people, Tesla wasn't a genius. He didn't go to this super knowledge high college and learn how to create super inventions. He came out with 200 inventions, 50 deadly weapons, which the United States government took. The rest of his inventions went to his country into Tesla Museum. All right. Tesla's last words, close to his last words, said, they will not know how to use this stuff wisely, which they don't. Or maybe the aliens knew what we would do with them and gave them to us for that reason. Time travel is the worst idea anybody can imagine playing with because it's so simple to lose a reality by that. Lose a planet. Take our laser weapons, go back to caveman time, go back to whatever time frame, just blast everything away. Or take our nuclear bombs aren't half as powerful as some of the weapons that we have now. Tesla was working on a doomsday weapon. Guess what? Luckily, he was stopped. He actually had an earthquake machine. He almost doubled in the square block in New York City. The police had to break in and shut the machine off. All right, he was playing with things that an alien race gave him. He admits it. He said it. So did Einstein. But the aliens that Einstein worked with was stupid. Oh, no, he was so smart. A lot of the things he said are being proven wrong now. They knew it. They said, let them play with this stupid formula for 200 years, and maybe they'll realize that they were given false information. Einstein said a lot of ridiculous things that are not true, and people believed it for up until rather recently. I'm not going to go over all of them. But he worked with an alien, and so did Tesla. I wish I knew the race that Tesla worked with, because I don't, and nobody knows. I asked every psychic, every spiritual person claiming to be psychic, whatever. Can you check something? No. I asked a personal question about my own spiritual stuff. We can't answer that. They can ask anybody else on this planet's questions, but they can't answer mine. Star Fuentes charges $22,000 for healing. She said if it doesn't work, come back to me. She wanted me to come out to her retreat for free. And I said no. But she was promised by Mr. Sargel 18 that she'd bring the aliens to her. She gave him a check that he could cash for $45,000 if he brought her an alien. That's how open and real that she was about what she believed he was. He never did that. He told me 10,000 times he was going to bring the aliens to the White House. And I know the government listened to that many times. We met with government people. All right. Besides all that, the idea that we're going to be lied to now, when the planet is going to be going through a serious problem called UN Agenda 21-30. It has nothing to do with what we wanted to believe or think. It has nothing to do with the story side of, oh, it's going to be, we all live together, we all live in peace, we all have food, it's all a bunch of baloney. They're going to eliminate as many people and do all these things. Remove people from the forest and put them in cities so that they can keep them controlled. All these things are going to happen in the next couple of years. This virus is only part of it. You know, we gave it to China. I have a person that actually was there when they took it out of the United States and sent it to China. And then they said it was stolen. They lost the virus that was locked up. Really? And then China's playing with it. Now, guess what? China doesn't care who they kill. They don't admit who or how many they kill either. One more little extension to the garbage that's going on right now. And you think aliens are going to come down? Well, let's make this better. How? Take out Congress, take out all politicians, take out all the people in control, take out Musk, Gates, and take all the money from the rich people, give it to all the poor people, let them build little houses and live happily ever after. No, they're not going to do that either. People, time's running out. What Congress is going to get, we don't know. Hopefully somebody will leak it from Congress. We have been abducted. We have ships here. We have this. We have that. Anything that can come out from a real congressman in the Congress now, not removed from Congress saying it later. The ex-vice president of Pfizer came out and said anybody that got the injection will die within 2 years. Guess what? We got to wait 2 years to see if he's real or not. So people, you got your thinking caps on? Are you ready to think about anything? Do you care what's really happening? I was hoping for one little smidgen of truth. One, not Russia, Germany. And then to admit that we have a weakness? Really? The most strongest country in the world. Well, we're afraid. We got German ships over us. We got Russian ships over. Got Chinese ships. Really? And you don't know what's over you? When they shot down the Pleiadian ship, do you think they knew what they were doing? I'm sure they did. They shot down 3. Roswell was only 1. There was 2 other ones, if you didn't know that or not. So, again, when they talk about aliens, when they got Mr. Evie and he brought him in and kept him as a host to communicate with his race of people, they gave him what he wanted. He gave them what they wanted. But who cares? He's not a good alien. I don't think so. We want to hear about these good aliens coming to help us. You can name Andromedans, Syrians, and any name you want. But the races that you need to worry about are the ones with power. The reptilians, the Greys, the Nordics. All right, you got the Mantis, Draconians. I'm not going to say an Anunnaki because that's a make-believe story every which way. But again, they aren't here for any good reason. No other race here. If some alien comes in your room, I'm going to be your friend. I'm going to teach you what? How to become a higher spiritual being. And be what? Who's going to be my power? Where are you going to get that power from? If God's not your ultimate power, you've got no power. I can't be abducted by any alien race because of that. Who do you work to? Who do you worship? Who do you pray to? Who do you believe in? God? Do you know what God is? Oh, yes. The great protector, the forgiver, the lover. Really? Do you know anything about a God? Not deities. Deities take on forms of ridiculous things as well in the lower realms. Do you know how big deities are? Do you have a clue? Do you know how big angels are? They don't come walking in your room and say, hello, I'm Gabriel, or I'm Michael. They're not sizable. And they don't shrink to be little people to say hi to you. I mean, even they rearranged Noah's Ark story to have these tree beings come out and help them and all that. Because there's so many things that was not admitted to about. And now we got one more delusional idea that aliens aren't real. They're not coming here. They're not hurting us. We might have Russia attacking us or watching over us. That is an act of war, people. Act of war. Do you understand that? Too brain dead. If a Russian ship comes over the White House, it's an act of war. And how could they say that? Are they saying Russia, China, and Germany could do whatever they want? They could attack us anytime they want, and it's okay. And what are we doing about it? We want to go to the moon. We want to go to Mars. We want to get away from it all, hide. People, are you planning on moving forward or not? All right. Kerry Cassidy, I don't know. I don't get along with her. After I left doing her show, I listen to the people she brings on and what she says. She's psychic and all these things. So what? You gonna do anything beneficial? Oh, we're all here to save mankind. Every new age idiot. I'm here to save mankind. To do what? Jesus tried that. He didn't tell people to stay on planet Earth. He said, this is hell. Get out of it. He called it a dead body. The Earth. He says, when you realize that, you should leave it. There's no reason to be here. Which is the truth. This is hell manifested by ego, which are, I'll say it this way, lust, greed, anger, vanity, and attachment. I break it down to more simpler things. Sex, drugs, cheap thrills, music, and love. A man-made idea of love. Not what love is. I'm going to be doing a workshop. That's going to be part of the workshop I'm going to do. Explaining what love is, not what, and what it is not. It is not what you think it is. So, and what God is, you have a clue? Bible says, what, Moses talked to God and said, oh, okay. When he wrote the Ten Commandments, he wasn't talking to God. God doesn't talk to people. God isn't a person, doesn't have lips and mouth and a nose and the ears and eyes like we do. That's why it created angels and deities and everything else for us to work with. Its vibration would blow the whole lower worlds apart if it ever came into it. Science is never ready to deal with it. Well, we had the Big Bang that created us. Really? Even the top scientists just came out and said there has to be something with some kind of higher intelligence to create something, because cells mutating don't mutate to get better every time it mutates, meaning forming a perfect body, which we are destroying. In Atlantis, we were perfect. The word perfect. You are perfect. It's in the Bible if you want to believe that part of the Bible. But we were. Sadly, we had alien races coming down and didn't like that idea. They don't have feelings and emotions. We're the only race that actually does in any great detail. Think when an alien does their operation on people, they care? When they rip things out of a person, when they go inside your eyeball or brain or whatever, that you think they care how much they've hurt you? Really? Well, they were told by Mr. Truman they cannot remember what happened. Well, somewhere along the way, mankind has built an immunity to that program. So now, to make it better, to make it even, they give a person a false programmed idea of what happened, meaning becoming an experiencer. Oh, I met the good aliens, and they took me to the good ship Lollipop, and they gave me lollipops all day. Want to believe that baloney story? Sure, go right ahead. Nobody's going to stop you. Listen to these idiots online. Or people call me whatever they want. Well, you just ramble. Ramble about the truth, not ramble about lies. The truth will set you free. You heard that phrase? And you heard the phrase, if it's too good to be true, it's definitely not true. Well, they're good statements because they do relate to a lot of important things in life and death. To think people think they can reincarnate whatever they want, wherever they want, however they want, and all that. No. There wouldn't be 90% of the planet homeless, starving people if everybody reincarnated into a better place. 150,000 people die daily. 100,000 people die in hospitals. Guess what? Is it whether because it's the virus or not? It's because something's wrong in the hospital. All right? But there's 300,000 born every day. Roughly, rough numbers. But that's the basic why we're still overpopulating than underpopulating. Wow, multiple numbers are dying. Is your funeral parlor filled with bodies? Were they filled for the past year with bodies? Did you even look? You ever check it out? Ever call one up? So you got room for my cousin? He just died yesterday. Did you even try? I would if I had somebody die around me and I had to bury them. I know that they're filled with I'm not going to say the wrong word, the virus, and they didn't want it into their clinic or their laboratory, I'll call it, where they tear your blood out of your body and stuff like that, your eyes and things like that as well. Your eyes collapse. So, do you want to get into details, or you want to listen to more lies? I could fill you with a bunch of lies, but I won't, and I can't. My dedication is only to God itself, not deities. I work with deities for many years. They're cool. They're incredible. They're not what you think they are. They're not walking around the planet and like the story of Shiva and Durga and all those stories. Durga cut Shiva's head off while they were having sex, and he didn't like the city, so he killed them all. Stories, great stories. But a deity can't walk around on planet Earth. If they could, why don't you think there's any here right now? Why don't you see a deity walking down New York City? Get your act together, people. Anything like that. Why? Why don't you see any of it here, physically? And then anybody that mentions anything outside the norm, you're crazy. Like John Ford. He didn't even mention anything. They just decided he couldn't release his video of a ship. All right. It was blown apart. It crashed. And there was things laying around it. Crystal clear. It wasn't like the blurred this and the blurred that. It wasn't moving. So it was crystal clear, the video. It's hard to film things that are moving so fast in the sky. Seriously. I film more ships than probably most people. So Argel and I, we put so many out there. And people, so what? You rather believe Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny is real? That's your choice. He went over the deep end with that as well. Filmed Jesus, filmed the devil, and the Easter Bunny, Santa Claus, you name it. Really? And what's that going to do for us? Anything? Well, I told you Trump met Putin, and Putin said to Trump, we don't know what he said, but Trump come out and build the space army. But here's the thing. I said this many times, and I'll say it again in case you didn't hear it the first time. Putin on Russian TV, 3 months before Trump was elected, said, Trump, I want you to release the truth about 9/11. And I want you to release the truth about what you're doing with aliens. Why would he say that? Then he said, we are, and this is what Putin said. I'm not making it up. Trying to find that video in English isn't possible. Try to even find a video at all. But he said, we are working with 27 races. And in the UFO world, 3 of the people I know said the same thing, 27 races. 2 of them want to destroy the planet. And I don't have to name them. You should be able to figure that out. It's not that complicated. So for him to go on public Russian TV and say that, isn't there something wrong there? Isn't there something there that should stimulate your thinking and say, what's going on? Well, I'm afraid probably not. So the pages are online, 9 pages of what they sent to the public about UFOs, what they aren't, all right? We're not going to be able to read what Congress said until somebody leaks that or gets it out. I wish I could get in touch with our great whistleblower and see what he has to say if he could get it out. The one that's kind of outlawed in the United States right now. But people, I hope you got something out of this. Hope you go out, listen to the news. I'm filming every channel just to hear what they say on the news. They got not the same thing that the Navy said 2 weeks ago. Well, it's we don't know what it is, but it's probably of Earth. Probably of Earth. Really? No wings, no sound, light up like a spotlight, change colors, travel at speed of light, and all those kind of things. And it's probably us. Our bodies will have to be in spacesuits of future. But then again, when you start playing with time travel, you can do anything. Go into the future, go into the past, and you can go to the Akashic records on the astral plane, people. Another place that you have to be a little more spiritual to get to. So, I don't do this for my health. I don't do this for money. My life is dedicated to putting the truth out there, and I will until I die. And truthfully, sticking around here is a really hard thing to do. Why do you think Jesus didn't want to stick around anymore and he let them kill him? He had to die. That's besides the point. But all the other great spiritual people that were killed, so-called spiritual people, I think 2 of them lived through being killed, poisoned and things like that. But a lot of them were killed, shot every which way. So people, Jesus isn't going to come back here. There's no reason for him to come into hell. This is 10 times worse than when he was here the first time. I mean, he tried to teach love, and people couldn't understand that. And love is basically sex and partying, really. But I do a show Tuesday. Tune in Tuesday. After this all gets washed away, we'll see what's happened, what's left, what's coming out, if anything. But the woman I do it with, she's been abducted almost all her life. She's aware of a lot of the things that happened to her as well. Now, Travis Walton has his story. There's a few people that have their story. But he still doesn't know what really, really happened. When you tell part of a story, it's just that. And a lot of times, the most important parts are never there. Well, I can't give any more to you right now. I want to see what it's going to come. Nothing's going to come out of this. All right. Now, I put a link up. I'm just trying to see where I can stick it. I think it's on the beginning of the show when you pull it up. Watch that video. Strange Universe, 1996. 97, I'm in between there. When John Ford got arrested, when that year when Phil Snyder got killed and all the other things went down, they killed a lot of UFO people. They killed a lot of SOP's nuclear scientists. A lot of things went down that year. When the New World Order, secret government, our government, whatever, decided they didn't want to move in that direction in any way, and they stopped it. They really stopped it from happening. To think they could cover every aspect of UFOs in any detail from 1950 to now. Like 70 years later, they covered everything up and you still know nothing. 99.9% of the people know zilch about what really happened. And that should be scary to you. What's going to happen is even more scarier. And it's not by the aliens. They'll wait. They like to hang around wars because they could take all those bodies and nobody knows. I was going to end it, but I'm not. In the state parks in the United States, more people disappear. Falling off a cliff, their body would be there. I mean, things like that. The whole family disappears. Really? Just walking around a car with a tent right there. A child walks away from the car and disappears and they can't find him. No cliffs, no nothing. You know, all the stories about all the numbers of people disappearing in just the state parks is incredible. Homeless people, who keeps track of that? People that die in war, who keeps track of that? Where the bodies go, and where the soul goes, and all those kind of things. Nobody. I mean, if they got a body, they bring it back. If they don't, they don't. It gets blown apart, half blown apart. You know, there's a lot of things going on, and if you're not ready to face it, which most people aren't, oh, I don't want to think about that. What do you want to think about? Having no food? If we went into blackness for 6 months, what do you think would happen? If the computers shut down tomorrow, what do you think would happen? If they fold the money system down, what do you think is going to happen? I don't even want to be here. I mean, I've been here, stuck here long enough. I'm 68. Again, 1952, when the spaceships went around the White House. Many more incredible sightings happened, and the triangle, I'm telling you, that was a government ship. I saw one here in Hawaii. 3 years ago, I was down by the bank, and I heard a vibration. I grabbed my camera, and this giant triangle ship came above me out of the mountain. Pointed my camera at it, died. Took my other camera out, it was dead. And within 3 seconds, it was gone. It almost blew my eardrums out. I mean, I felt like I was 100 feet from it. And then when I went into town, which is only like maybe 10 blocks away, did you hear that noise? Did you hear? Nobody heard that thing. So whether it's directly under the ship that the sound, you hear it at a low level, but nobody knows. I didn't know. I couldn't get a picture of it, but I knew because that's where our army base is. We got one of the most important army bases on the planet. Hawaii is the first center of defense for the United States. What do you think the observatories are here? Why they didn't get the bigger one is because the Hawaiian people were afraid it's taken over their holy land. Is holy land anywhere? Really? You know, when you believe in little people, giants, and everything else, it doesn't help you understand God. It doesn't. Sorry. You're too stuck in a physical reality. In the matrix. Things big, little, small, green, purple, orange. It doesn't matter. Soul doesn't have a color. Soul doesn't have genitalia. Soul has its own agenda when it's allowed to. And it's not about how many women they can get, how many men they can get, or anything like that. That's all let go to get out of here. And if you can't let go of it, you're not going to leave here. And you hurt somebody, kill somebody, guess what? You're stuck here longer. So people, I'm telling you, you want to learn something that you never learned, understand something you never even thought about. I'll be doing this workshop. I'm trying to get it together. I worked on it for a year. The topics and how I'm going to get into each one and how I'm going to bring it all together and all that. But I promise you, it'll be the most important thing. And you will walk away with something that will last you the rest of your life. Not a week, not a month. And it's not about making money, people. You're looking for money, don't come into my workshop, please. Want to become a superpowered being, don't come into my workshop because that's not where it's at. I'm not saying you can't become that. I was a witch. I played with 30. There's 32 psychic abilities. I played with about 29 of them. They're all real, but I realize they cannot be used in this reality. It will destroy reality. Hill is thinking they're doing a great thing. A person's karma is karma because that soul needs to go through it to learn something. Take it away and that soul learns nothing. And you think an alien's going to come down and teach you what was taken away from you? Sorry, people, you're looking in the wrong places, wrong mountain, the wrong hole in the ground, whatever. Still looking for a Bigfoot? Why? Native people don't have a clue. They say the star beings never helped them. Really? What? To die? Bigfoot helped them. What? To die? They brought them food when they were starving. They built homes for them when they were homeless. What did they do for them? I was next to a Bigfoot. They're smelly, they're big, and they're powerful. But outside of that, are they friendly? He stamped on a log and snapped a log, and I just went running. I didn't have my camera, I didn't have my knife, staff, nothing on me, and I'm running back to the truck screaming, get the cameras out. But that's a whole nother story. But it's real. All this stuff is real. But is it really important for you as soul? It depends. If you want to stay in a matrix, it is. You want to get out, it isn't. God isn't inside the matrix. This is a matrix for soul to learn. And when it does, it gets out. And that's what Jesus taught, not what's in the Bible. People don't teach their children about protection. People don't teach their children anything. They program them. They abuse them. Is that what life's about? And now change sex. Well, you know you were different sexes in different lifetimes. You just tune into one of the other ones when you were a female, when you were a male, or a male when you're a female, whatever. But it's time to let go of all that. You need, or you should, understand your past lives. It'll help you incredibly understand where you are in this lifetime. Soul usually moves forward unless you kill people or rape children and things like that. This the two most dangerous, horrible things you could do on this planet. All right. Outside of that, karma could be worked off, providing take the right steps, do the right things. But getting a girl drunk, getting a guy drunk, or whatever the stories are, that's all karma. Spitting on somebody's karma. Your intentions are karma. I won't even go into it. It was so bad. I learned the hard way. But if you don't learn that, I'm not afraid of any witch, warlock, entity, creature that does not exist on this planet. Sure, I'm not worried about the government. They could kill me, take me out whenever they want. That's their choice. I'm not protected from that. My soul within inside me is. But that's all I can say, people. Where do you want to be? Where do you want to go? How do you want to die? And what do you want to do after? Anything? Oh, you want to stay with your children? Guess what? That's not going to happen. Oh, I want to come back. You'll come back in the second generation of your grandchildren. But your immediate mother, father, sister, whatever it is. So with that, I've been here long enough. I've been here an hour. I thought I was only going to do about a half hour, but I got into it a little bit. So people, give this link to everybody you know. Let them realize that they're nowhere right now. They're going to be cheated, lied to. The government's not going to give them any information. The UFO world's going to even feed you more baloney, stupid stories. Who cares what the government's doing with aliens? Is it going to help you? All these projects they did were for a reason. If I told you they had 3 major wars, 2 in space and 1 here, does it matter? They saved the planet, and I know we worked with Russia. I can go into that. I can tell you books to read. There's only 2 books that I would tell you to read, but not right now. But a good friend of mine's in jail. He's dying. They took him back in. He was on Kerry Cassidy's show. He talked about Kennedy, and they arrested him 2 days later. He's dying with cancer. They said, oh, they can treat him better in jail, and they brought him back in jail. They're going to kill him now. I don't have money. I can't get him out. People, check it out. Sean David Morton, what's happening to him? Why? Well, I think that's a whole nother story, but he's not guilty. All right, that's all I'll tell you. And people say, he's guilty of this, he's guilty of... No, he's not. He was never a millionaire. If he did, he would have made a movie, and it would have been the best movie ever made. But he didn't. All right, people. Peace, love, compassion. Whatever you need in your life, I hope you get it, if that's what you want. You know, I see we have trolls in here. I wasn't even looking. You know, I just pulled it. Somebody just told me that the chat room was open. I put it out there, but I wasn't ready to go in there to answer any questions because I can't read and talk at the same time. All right. So till next time, peace, love, compassion, whatever you want. I'm not here to entertain people. I'm not here to make you feel good. You know, the people that are in the chat room, chill, go ahead. Watch what happens to the world in the next 2 years. You're going to be amazed, and not in a good way. Peace again. Thank you. Thank you, Sash. I'm sorry I didn't see you. And DX, you know, you're a fool. I could say it. You're calling Jesus a fool? Well, you're a fool. Jesus was a real person. He wasn't God. Never said he was. Well, maybe you're not real. Maybe you're not even here. Maybe you're in your own dream, dreaming you're somebody. All right, people. Till next time. Enjoy your night.